So, do you find me appealing? It's the bald head, right? Huh? People find that very attractive. But I want to talk to you about rhetorical appeals, which is a little different than finding someone attractive. Often, when people speak in public, they imagine the goal is to get the audience to like them. And this can create a lot of unnecessary anxiety for the speaker. Oh no! What if they don't like me? Oh, I'll die! I'll just absolutely die! Remember that the goal of your speech is not found inside of you, but rather in your audience. How do you know if your communication is effective? Well, ultimately, it will be successful if your audience takes up your call to action, if they do or believe what you want them to, or they don't believe or don't do what you don't want them to. I think that's right. But that may happen long after your speech is over. How do you know if your speech is effective while you're speaking? It's called the head nod. It's pretty much a universal gesture. And the more emphatically your audience does this, the more effective your speech communication has been. It may even be accompanied by a finger pointing and smiling and laughing. Or cheers even. But that's how you will know if your communication has been effective. It's rooted in your audience. Then how do you get the head nod? Not by wishing or hoping that they like you, but by actually asking them for the head nod. It's called the rhetorical appeal. You need to make an appeal to your audience. And there are three basic types of appeal: logos, pathos, and ethos. And those are Greek terms that we get from our old friend Aristotle. Logos is a logical argument. It's a point-by-point, step-by-step argument, usually with an example for each point. Logos is an appeal to your audience's sense of logic. If we don't repair that bridge, it will collapse entirely and be even more expensive to replace. Pathos, on the other hand, is an emotional argument. You could appeal to your audience's sense of fear or greed or altruism or envy or pride or sympathy. If we don't repair that bridge, hundreds of people will die. Ethos is an appeal to authority. It makes the argument that the audience should put aside what they believe and listen to the experts. There are many ways to be authoritative. Just wearing a suit or a uniform can make you look authoritative. Titles like senator or general or professor can give you authority. And sometimes just having an impressive background can give you an authority. Or simply standing in a lectern makes you appear authoritative. Then when you say something like, 16 of the most brilliant civil engineers concur that the bridge must be repaired, you will be believed. Now, you could simply stick with one approach, but usually it's best to combine all three appeals. Suppose I told you that according to a scientific poll, 98% of the people believe that dessert should be eaten before the main course. Therefore, you should do it too. Well, the argument has ethos. It was a scientific poll. It has logos. 98% of the people can't be wrong. And it has pathos, peer pressure. You don't want to be in that tiny minority. You want your dessert first like all the other people. Of course, that was a poll of third graders. You see, sometimes these appeals can be manipulative. Deceptive logical arguments could include things like the slippery slope argument. If we let one person do it, everyone will want to do it. Or selected facts. Did you know that most people have one eye? They usually have a matching one on the other side of their face, but most people have at least one eye. Or misleading statistics. 93% of people prefer Dr. Williams' pink pills for pale people. Because we don't know what they prefer it to. They may prefer it to a sharp stick in the eye, but they do prefer it. Deceptive emotional arguments would include things like urgency, supplies are limited, demagoguery like, these poor, defenseless children need your help, or patriotism like, these items are 100% made in the USA. And then there are deceptive authoritative arguments. Would you trust this man? Perhaps you shouldn't. He's just a model in a lab coat. And this man looks like he may know a little bit about investments, but he cheated people out of millions of dollars. And this man, who seems to have great authority and the ability to captivate his audience, is probably one of the most despicable people ever to live. Rhetorical appeals themselves are neither good nor bad, but they can be used for altruistic or nefarious purposes. In fact, some people believe the ends justify the means. A negotiator or civil attorney or a politician will artfully spin their rhetoric to make their case. In an adversarial situation, it's up to the other side to spin the other direction. As for me, I believe that bald people are not only more appealing, but they are also more intelligent and creative. Hey, look at this little guy. You want to tell me that he's not appealing? Of course he is. Okay, that's a little manipulative, but you know I'm right. You know that bald people are the best. We love bald people. Go bald people. Bald, 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 bald people. Yeah, man, bald, bald, bald.